You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, the #1 rated robot-related podcast in northeastern Ontario.
Hey, welcome to episode 192 of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Today is Sunday, March 18th, 2018. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Josh.
I'm Kitty.
We're coming to you live on location here at our headquarters, Jump City Comic Books and Collectibles. Where is it, Kitty?
38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, we're not live on location.
Well, we're live as we're recording.
We're not
Are we?
recording live.
Yeah, we're not dead.
But we're not
Are
We're not recording live. We're recording, and then you will edit this afterward. So it's not even live and uncut. It's just this. This is processed. This is the worst form of.
So
Isn't it the best form? Everybody loves refined sugar.
True, but if it says raw sugar on the package and you get it and it's refined sugar, it's not what you expected.
Yes,
So-
that's true.
So it's the worst form of false
Of live,
advertising.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
So-
worst form of live is not live.
So in other
It's
words,
dead.
we are currently recording episode 192 at Jump City Comic Books. When you're hearing this episode, who knows when it'll be, where you'll be, or what you'll be doing.
Or where we will be and or what we will be doing.
Because we don't know.
Exactly.
Because that's for our future selves to worry about.
Yes, because you could be listening to it when we release it, or the day after.
Or in the 2104.
Really? Think we're going to last that long?
Oh, people are still going to be listening to the podcast 100 years hence, Josh.
Does anybody film live podcasts? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, yesterday, which was Friday, because we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day, actually, and Cheryl's birthday.
You're not wearing green.
I'm not wearing green.
Josh Pincham.
Ow. Yesterday, my brother Robin and his buddy Whit, who co-host the Space Jam podcast, did a live thing on Facebook live stream thing. That thing that you can do on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes, that thing. They recorded an episode.
Oh? Mm-hmm. And?
I watched some of it, and
I watched some of it.
I did watch some of it.
say for your whole brother's podcast.
I came to it late,
Okay.
and it was interesting where I caught from, and then they started talking about wrestling, and I had to go because I didn't care. But but some people care about that kind of stuff.
Yes, a lot of people care about wrestling.
So yes, they do.
I actually don't mind it when it's in person.
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you ever been to a live wrestling event?
I cannot say that I have.
It's actually really fun. I have tickets. I'm going to take you guys.
Nope.
You want to come?
You have tickets?
Yeah.
Where? For when? How?
Like, they're mine.
Like when's the wrestling? Where is it? Why don't I know about this from before?
It's here in Timmins.
Okay.
It's probably at the Timmins High. Could be Terrio, but I'd have to go and check my tickets to be sure.
It's out of high school.
Yeah.
When is this event?
Oh gosh, do you want me to go get them?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I don't really remember. I do have to go and look at my tickets though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take us?
I'm gonna go with Sherry and Julie, and
Oh.
I was gonna take Josh because I had enough tickets to take Josh.
Oh, well, you guys will have to do a report on the Timmins wrestling
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
for an upcoming episode of this
Yeah.
right here, the Rusted Robot Podcast.
Shouldn't it go onto the Space Jam? Shouldn't that be content for the Space Jam?
You know what? You could do a little mini clip, and you could email it to my brother.
Because it wouldn't fit the parameters of this episode
Or-
structure that we use.
No, we really don't talk about wrestling at all, except for just what we did currently.
Yeah, we talk about sports balls. Well, this is more about planning.
Sports ball.
It's more about, this is a conversation about articulating and planning and organization, which is a fine topic on itself. But no, we don't often do sports ball stuff.
We don't do sports of any kind, really.
Yeah,
Speaking of organizing and
Quidditch.
planning,
We do Quidditch.
Yes.
if there was an organizing and planning stationary podcast, I would probably watch that or listen to that.
If there was a LARPing league here in town,
a LARPing league would be amazing.
that would be a sport that we could cover.
Yeah, Josh was going to run a LARP.
I always wanted to
We
do.
don't have any time.
No, there's no time for anything.
No.
And where would we have a LARPing league?
We actually, we know somebody who has a huge plot of land, and he was willing to lend it to us.
I'm sad this never got off the ground.
Yeah, me too.
You know what also I'm sad about?
What's that?
I am sad about the passing of our good friend Stephen Hawking, who died at the age of 76 on March 14th.
So, yeah, that is incredibly sad.
I woke up that morning, I checked my Twitter, and I saw that James Roberts had made a comment about Stephen Hawking dying. And, of course, everybody knows James Roberts from the Battlebridge podcast. And I'm like, that would be sad if Stephen Hawking died. And then I jumped on Facebook, and that's all that was on there. And I'm like, I guess he really did pass.
Yeah. See, I didn't get the news for 2 days.
I meant to tell him Josh does not have social media.
And I told you, didn't I?
No, I found out before that.
Oh, okay.
I just saw it all over
But you said you would tell Josh.
the FB. I did say I would tell
Right.
him, and then I forgot to. I haven't seen Josh very much lately.
Yeah, I've been working a lot.
And because you're not plugged into the source of all wisdom, a.k.a. social media, you were not aware.
I'm also not plugged into the source of all idiocy, social media.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point. All right, so he died on Pi Day, which was
Somewhat forbidding.
significant, apparently. It was also Einstein's birthday. And I thought that was cool because he died on Einstein's birthday. And I think it was Isaac Newton who was born on the exact day that Galileo died, if my history
I'm not sure about that, but
recollection is correct. But
Isaac Newton was born Christmas Day.
Isaac Newton was born on January 4, 1643, in Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England. Using the old Julian calendar, Newton's birth date is sometimes displayed as December 25, 1642.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's
Because at Christmas, Neil deGrasse Tyson made a comment about how on this day, great man, died, right? And it was all, and everybody's like, oh, he's speaking about Jesus. No, he's speaking about Isaac Newton.
Oh, nice.
Ha!
This was on a show or something.
Yeah, he tweeted it.
Okay.
He does brain droppings. He'd be one of the.
Brain droppings.
That's what he calls them.
That does not sound
That
appealing.
would be a fantastic name for a podcast.
Brain droppings.
I think it's great.
I think it sounds gross.
Anyways, so yeah, passing of Stephen Hawking is terribly sad.
It is.
It's a
very
lot.
sad.
It's a loss for all mankind.
It is. He is a man of much strength of will.
Well, he was supposed to die by the time he was 25 years old because he had ALS.
Yeah, they gave him 2 years, and
They
then
gave him he lasted for another 51.
yeah. So beating the odds.
Yeah, and he was confined to a wheelchair for the last 50 odd years, and he had a whole team of people helping him do his research and translating what his thoughts were and stuff. Imagine if he was full-bodied and able to do that. We'd be on Mars by now,
Would we?
maybe,
Or would we have lost a great thinker to distractions?
because he could walk and do other things. So he couldn't concentrate on the cosmology and stuff.
Because even with his disability, he got married 3 times.
This is true.
So
I can see your point, but
Like-
but regardless, he made great contributions to
He did.
humanity.
if anybody claims they can fully understand his work and they don't have a degree in quantum or astrophysics, they're lying.
Yeah.
I've read his books. I read Brief History of Time, the updated version.
Oh, have you?
Brief History of Everything. What was the other one? The Universe in a Nutshell.
You read all those.
Yeah.
I've always meant to. I never have, though.
I have a copy, the 10th anniversary copy of Brief History of Time, if you'd like to borrow it.
I would like to borrow it.
It's deep, and you're going to have to read it like 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
Because you're going to miss stuff, and you're going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm sure. And in the last few days, it's been confirmed that his books have gone to number 2 on the Amazon bestseller list. Of course, nobody appreciates him in his time, but once they pass. And Robert J. Sawyer, who's on my friends list, who's a Canadian sci-fi icon.
Hi, my name's Robert J. Sawyer. I'm an award-winning science fiction writer, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Don't forget to follow them on Twitter.
Was quite upset by that. He was like, why doesn't anybody appreciate these authors in their time?
I had a 10th anniversary edition. I got the stuff.
Oh, you
I
did.
bought them.
And people have, and they were all bestsellers, but now they're even more bestsellers after he passes. And that's
Well,
what
it's 'cause
Robert Sawyer was saying.
Yeah, but if they were already bestsellers, everybody that was interested in his stuff got his stuff. And then when he passed, more people were...
Found out about him, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought I'd read the article here that I came across. It says here, he died peacefully at his home in Cambridge in the early hours of Wednesday, which was Pi Day. The British scientist was famed for his work with black holes and relativity and wrote several popular science books, including A Brief History of Time, like you said. At the age of 22, Hawking was given only a few years to live after being diagnosed with a rare form of motor neuron disease. The illness left him in a wheelchair and largely unable to speak except through a voice synthesizer. In a statement, his children, Lucy, Robert, and Tim, said, "We are deeply saddened that our beloved father passed away today. He was a great scientist and an extraordinary man whose work and legacy will live on for many years. They praised his courage and persistence and said his brilliance and humor inspired people across the world. He once said, "It would not be much of a universe if it wasn't home to the people you love. We will miss him forever." Professor Hawking was the first to set out a theory of cosmology as a union of relativity and quantum mechanics. He also discovered that black holes leak energy and fade to nothing, a phenomenon that would later become known as Hawking radiation. Through his work with mathematician Sir Roger Penrose, he demonstrated that Einstein's general theory of relativity implies that space and time would have a beginning in the Big Bang and an end in black holes. The scientist gained popularity outside the academic world and appeared in several TV shows, including The Simpsons, Red Dwarf, and The Big Bang Theory. Of course, it doesn't say anything about Star Trek: The Next Generation, where he appeared as himself. He was portrayed in both TV and film, recently by Oscar winner Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything, which charted his rise to fame and relationship with his first wife, Jane. The actor paid tribute to him, saying, "We have lost a truly beautiful mind, an astonishing scientist, and the funniest man I have ever had the pleasure to meet." Benedict Cumberbatch, who played Professor Hawking in a BBC drama, said he was a true inspiration for me and for millions around the world. His most famous book, A Brief History of Time, has now shot to the top of the Amazon bestsellers list. The Motor Neuron Disease Association, of which Professor Hawking had been a patron since 2008, reported that its website had crashed because of an influx of donations to the charity. And then we've got a fact file. So he was born January 8th, 1942 in Oxford, England. He earned a place at Oxford University to read natural science in 1958 before studying for his PhD at Cambridge. By 1963, he was diagnosed with a motor neuron disease and given 2 years to live. In 1974, he outlined his theory that black holes emit Hawking radiation. In 1979, he became the Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge, a post once held by Sir Isaac Newton. Lucasian?
Yeah, I'd go location.
Yeah, Lucasian, okay. Published his book, A Brief History of Time, in 1988, which has sold more than 10 million copies. And in the late 1990s, he was reportedly offered a knighthood, but 10 years later revealed he had turned it down over issues with the government's funding for science. So,
But all right, well, he should have been knighted.
yes. Sir Stephen Hawking?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see how they mentioned a red dwarf but didn't put in Star Trek.
Right.
That's a kick in the teeth.
That is
But whatever.
yeah.
That's a gripe on my little thing. Yeah, it is a terrible shame that we lost a mind like his. I don't know what else to say. Like, good man gone. What else is there to say?
Right. He lived 50 years past his expiration, and he died peacefully, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Not much more you can ask for.
No, that's sheer force of will, living that long in those kind of conditions, right? So, what I've seen a lot is pictures of him going towards the heavenly gates, the stairway to heaven and whatnot, with him standing up outside of his wheelchair. That's been all over Facebook and social media and whatnot. And then there's all kinds of people saying, dudes, he was an atheist, he didn't believe in God. This is kind of going against what he believed in the first place. So, all kinds of controversy.
Yeah, well, do you know how I found out? A friend of mine sent me an article about his passing.
Okay.
I was like, well, this is incredibly sad. Started reading the article. Third sentence in, because the first sentence about we've lost a great mind. One cannot deny that he was a genius. I'm like, okay. Most people can't claim to actually know what he taught.
Right.
Okay. But we really should retire the word genius because it's sexist. I'm like, really?
How so?
Because more men are geniuses?
Are they?
Yes. If you look at the bell curve, men's bell curves and women's bell curves, they're pretty much within a point of each other at the medium, but the men's bell curve is wider. We have more geniuses, we have more morons.
Okay.
So
we have a wider scope.
we have a wider scope, we have more people on one end, we have more people on the other, and there may be reason because of the XY and the XX. Ladies have copies of certain genes that would act as a stabilizing, whereas men we're idiots or geniuses or somewhere in between.
Men are more erratic, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just people go, oh, look at all these geniuses. Well, yeah, but how many idiots blew their heads off with firecrackers?
Right.
Right?
Okay.
We got it on both ends. But, yeah, and I'm like, why are we politicizing a death of a man?
Right. Everybody has to put in their 2 cents.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the 2 cents you'd be throwing in.
I would agree with that. I do have another article here that I shared on the Facebook page for the Rusted Robot. Not the group, but the page, and anybody can find it there. There's a bunch of predictions that he left us with.
Okay.
So first one, he predicted that AI may be the worst thing for humans.
Depends what you mean by worst.
As it said here, in November, he warned at a technology conference in Lisbon, Portugal, that artificial intelligence could be the worst thing ever to happen to humanity because what an AI can learn is infinite, and he reasoned that it could eventually catch up to the limits of the human brain and surpass us.
Again, but that
Right, there's
there are some problems with that in that it's the assumption that it will automatically be negative for humanity.
right.
And it's an AI, not a sentience. So those are different.
Mm-hmm. Right, and he said it may be. He didn't say it would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like there's problems with that hypothetical.
Okay. He also predicted that meeting aliens will be bad news. We should run, he said. The dread. Yeah, I know. The dread came less from an idea that aliens will be inherently bad and more from his observations of humans. Much like Christopher Columbus triggered chaos in his coming to the Americas, colonizing aliens would also bring turmoil to our proverbial shores. Okay, and then he also said we probably won't encounter aliens soon.
That's a random factor that we have no control over.
True enough. He predicted our time on Earth would end, and to survive, we need to go to the stars.
That's true.
Yeah. And he also predicted that climate change could ravage the Earth, which is a pretty safe conclusion.
Yeah.
So,
Less of a prediction and more of a straight up observation of fact.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, he's incredible. My buddy at work told me that on YouTube, there's a video, it's about 50 minutes long, of Carl Sagan, Arthur C. Clarke, and Stephen Hawking all talking about God and the universe and whatnot. So I haven't watched it yet. I was hoping to for today's podcast to talk about it, but it's out there.
On the alien front, the odds of us running into aliens, if they're coming, we have no idea. Because
yeah.
they'd have to be coming at near light speed, which means we won't see them until they're almost here. And
And then we're doomed.
are we?
I don't know. Maybe they'll be benevolent. We don't know.
Yeah, but we don't know. Therein lies the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Could be good, could be bad. It's hard to say. In other sad news, the Washington Post reports that Toys R Us will close or sell its remaining U.S. stores. The initial announcement said there was going to be a closure of 182 locations in the wake of last year's bankruptcy announcement, but now the remaining 800 stores are also set to close. So that's very sad. And they think that that could be the end of the toy business if there's no Toys R Us.
I don't think that's true at all.
As a retail store owner who specializes in toys and comics, what do you think of this?
Well, I think part of the problem is that just they were very, very niche, which is fine, I guess. But like when people are going for toys, like the kids are generally going after toys, and the adult people are generally going after other things. That's why places like the evil Walmart are popular because they're diverse.
Yeah, we were looking for toys actually for a birthday present.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nowhere to go anymore because Sears is gone, Zellers is gone. We have Walmart, and that's pretty much it.
What were you looking for?
It was Cheryl was looking for a present for her daughter's friend, just a generic toy. It didn't matter what it was.
Generic toy?
Yeah,
Well, like there's specialty shops like us, for example.
yeah.
But like we can get stuff like Hasbro stuff. So like there's still gonna be toys around.
I think so, too.
Toys are a huge seller.
But
of
just
things.
if we're out and about shopping in town and we just want to get something real quick, you have to go to Walmart or nothing really.
You could go to Walmart. Their toy selection is very.
It's garbage lately.
It's okay, I guess, but it's like, there's Barbie, there's My Little Pony, there's Star Wars, there's Lego,
And Ninja Turtles, and
there's
that's
Ninja
it.
Turtles, and that's basically it. But like, their problem is that they're so diversified. They only throw like 6 things
Right.
into each aisle, and they're like, here, these are your options. So I think maybe this is an opportunity for small mom and pop shops to just take up also having toys. They're not a huge expense, and then we can also have better prices than Toys R Us ever did, because like some of the toys that I have here, they had at Toys R Us, and they were buttload more. And then also we didn't have a Toys R Us way the heck up here in the first place, so they hold this weird monopoly on all of these toy brands that you couldn't get at other places, and now they're probably going to be open to sending them to smaller places like my store and other places' stores. And then up here, if you needed to buy a toy, we have them. EB Games has them.
Oh, yeah,
Bargain Shop has them.
Yeah,
Bargain
that's
Shop is
true.
great for toys. A lot
Is
of
it?
them are really weird too.
Really? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh.
They have like a small number of very diverse things, but once they're out, they generally restock, and either with the same thing or something new and different.
Okay.
Dollarama has little crap toys.
Yes, Dollarama has crap toys. I never thought of the bargain shop though.
Yeah, Bargain Shop is great, but EB has quite the number of toys.
Yet more expensive.
They are
but-
more expensive, but like it depends on what it is that you're after
True
in the
enough.
first place.
Yeah, you're right.
Most of the time, people going in there buying video games, a lot of them are adult people or younger people who have expendable money just to, not to say waste because it's not really a waste, but
Right.
like it's not a
It's
food,
expendable.
It's not a food or a clothing item. You don't really need it. So if you have money for that, you probably have money for an interesting, fun toy. We just bought Mina and Damien a Pokemon playset, which is really cute. It's like a little dollhouse with little tiny Pokemon.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Well,
And then
yeah.
I think there's a couple other shops in town where you can buy toys. Even the Dollarama toys are crap, but kids often break
Yes.
good toys anyway,
True.
so it's not bad to just be like, here, let's go to this place and get this little crap toy. And then they're like, oh no, I broke it. It's like, oh no,
It was
we'll
$2.
buy you another one.
Right.
Also, think about the toys when we were younger in the 80s.
Yeah.
What did we have? We had a lot of stuff, but all of it was because we were constantly watching ads all day, every day.
True
G.I.
enough.
Joe,
He's a real American hero.
He-Man, She-Ra.
Transformers,
It's all
Ninja Turtles.
all
That's
commercials.
All the time. Yeah, that's right.
Hot Wheels. I don't know how many, like, those commercials made
Oh,
me really
incessant.
want the Hot
Right.
Wheels playsets. They were cool.
And like the Micro Machine guy.
Remember, if it doesn't say micro machines, it's not the real thing.
Micro.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
He could talk so fast.
Yes, he was awesome.
And so like we were inundated with commercials.
It's true.
Now, I'm still getting toy requests for my kids, right? Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, what? What do you want? You want this weird Asian fashion dog thing?
Yes.
Because they saw it on
Fashion
YouTube
Pup.
or something.
And it's like, oh, okay. Where's it from? Oh, it's from Japan? Okay.
Korea.
Oh, it's Korean? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's another toy that we
Oh.
that she really, really wants from Korea. It is called Talkative Chick's House.
Yeah.
It is so cute, but she learned about it from a toy reviewer who collects toys from around the world.
Okay.
And it's like, all right.
It is very expensive to get toys from around the world.
Yes. Yes,
So
it
I
is.
do kind of miss that kids would just watch TV and see the ads.
Well, I'm looking around the Jump City environment right now, and
Yes.
you have a wide selection. You have amazing things. Everybody should come here to
38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario, Canada, Earth, Sol System, Milky Way Galaxy, Local Galactic Cluster,
That's-
Universe.
Are you asking
multiverse.
about the address or
Well,
like the
he-
things that you can...
No, he filled in. I can just look and I can see.
Ah.
I see Wonder Woman statues. I see hats and scarves and pop vinyl figures and Star Trek action figures and Star Wars things and Gundam figures. And I see more Star Wars figures and Batman and Joker and Dungeons and Dragons and little plush toys and more comic books and stickers. And who are those guys right there?
Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z crew.
Okay,
The
and
plush version.
then I see hammers and sword replicas.
Yeah,
I
those
see
are
shields.
LARP quality. They're made out of foam rubber, so you can hit each other all day without getting seriously injured.
That is an awesome idea.
It is.
There's neckties, there's backpacks. You've got
We have coffee mugs / tea mugs. We have custom printed T-shirts. We have.
you've got Lord of the Rings action figures, vintage things from 15 years ago. That's
Yep.
amazing. I'm seeing Marvel toys. I'm seeing DC toys. I'm seeing Pokemon cards and Magic cards and so
Yep.
many cards. I
Yep.
don't know what to do with them all.
Yep, and then we have board games, card games, manga, trade paperback versions of the graphic novels of the comic book collections. We've got single issue comic books. We have comics that are geared specifically to younger children.
You've got-
We have books which are done like comic books for young children to teach them to read better in a
Nice.
subject that they care about because they want to be like their parents.
I'm seeing model building kits. I'm seeing Barbies. I'm seeing Mr. Potato Heads.
Yeah, original art.
G.I. Joe things.
Yeah.
So, like I
Sailor
say,
Moon figures. So like it's definitely not the end of the
To-
toy or collecting
Renaissance,
world.
yes.
Yeah.
so like I was saying, in the old shows, the He-Man and She-Ra, it was basically just a long commercial. And
Yes.
advertisers don't like to do that these days, and TV people think it's dirty just to run an ad in the middle of your show. Basically, you shouldn't do that kind of thing.
Thank God for Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that in the middle of your show. That's true. Hey, okay, so I know that you, my friend, are not a super huge fan of Star Trek Discovery.
Black alert. Black alert.
No, that's an understatement.
Okay, but I do have some Star Trek Discovery news.
Black alert. Black alert.
Do you have enough time to go to the washroom and come back?
No.
Oh.
I have an article here that says Discovery snags 5 Saturn Award nominations. Do you know what the Saturn Awards are?
I assume it's an award shaped like Saturn.
Here you go. Since 1972, the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films have been honoring the best actors and productions in genre works with the Saturn Award. Past acting winners include William Shatner, Kate Mulgrew, Jerry Ryan, and a bunch of other people. Star Trek Discovery gets its chance to join the club this year as the newest part of the Trek franchise received 5 nominations, including several for the show's cast. In addition to being named as one of the best selections for new media television series, the stars Sonequa Martin Green, Doug Jones, Jason Isaacs, and Michelle Yeoh all received nods for their performances. So, Best Actor on a Television Series, that was Jason Isaacs' nomination. Best Actress on a Television Series, that was Sonequa Martin Green, and she's up against such people as Adrienne Palacki from The Orville, Melissa Benoist, whatever her name is, from Supergirl, Gillian Anderson from The X-Files, and so on.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actor on a Television Series, of course, was Doug Jones, who played Saru. Then we also got people from The Walking Dead and Twin Peaks and Game of Thrones and whatnot. And Best Guest Starring Performance on Television, that was where Michelle Yeoh won for Captain, I can't remember her name all of a sudden, Captain Giorgio, yes. And she was up against such people as David Lynch from Twin Peaks, and Bryan Cranston from Electric Dreams, and Rachel Nichols from The Librarians, and Hartley Sawyer from The Flash, among others. So that is very awesome that Star Trek Discovery
Black alert. Black alert.
is being nominated for things. And Best New Media Television Series, they were up against Altered Carbon, Black Mirror, The Handmaid's Tale, Mindhunter, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, and Stranger Things.
Oh, they're going to lose.
Stranger Things? You think Stranger Things is going to win?
Stranger Things or Black Mirror?
Black Mirror is also really good.
Apparently, that'll be announced sometime in June, I believe. But that's pretty good for Star Trek, even if you don't like Star Trek, and you don't think it is.
I like Star Trek.
I know.
We're not getting into this, but I like Star Trek.
You don't think this is Star Trek. I get it. Hey, talking about things that we like in regards to Star Trek. Do you remember the episode Cause and Effect?
Yes.
The one where Data keeps seeing threes.
I have encountered the numeral 3 an inordinate number of times over the last 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay, well, I feel like Data the last few days.
Mind you, that's not until the last loop.
Huh?
The last loop, yes. Because he programs in so he knows it's Riker.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But yes, I have also run into a large preponderance of the number 3 lately.
I see. Have you been playing a lot of Legend of Zelda?
I have played 0 Legends of
There's
Zelda.
lots of examples of 3 in that.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, because of the Triforce.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Triangle. 3. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, here are some examples of 3s that I have run into lately. Yesterday at work, we got 3 sets of flyers to deliver for next week.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not unusual, but 3 sets of flyers. Today we had dinner for Cheryl's birthday at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. A few of my friends who I work with are on vacation next week. After the week after that, I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. So that means I will not see these people for 3 weeks. Crazy, right? And then for Cheryl's birthday, I bought her a ring. How much did it come to? $333, which was weird. And then we were talking about winning the lottery, because we're all in a group at work to win the lottery. And because the 649 is worth $10 million this weekend, if we were to win, we would all get $333,333.33. Because there's 30 of us.
There certainly are a lot of coincidences.
So it's been very weird lately.
Except a couple of those weren't 3s.
What do you mean?
333 is not 3.
But there's 3s in it. It's all 3s.
Yes, but it's not 3.
No,
3 is a number. It stands alone.
Yeah, but that's a quibble.
It's not a quibble. It's a prime number.
All kinds of 3s, though. 3s everywhere.
It's
All I
this-
see.
funny.
All I see are 3s, just like Data.
I wonder why. There are 3 of us on this podcast.
There are 3 of us on the podcast. You see how this works?
Jump
And-
City closes every Saturday at 4:30,
Oh,
and
there's a 3.
an hour and a half before that, it's 3 o'clock.
Yes. And not only that, we've been doing the top 10 robot countdown, and today is going to be our 3rd entry into that series.
Did you know-
You can't argue with the 3s.
That every day,
Is a winding road.
at least twice a day, it's 3 o'clock.
It's true. Also, it's 3:33 at twice a day.
There's a 3 on the clock.
There is. See, she gets it. She gets
There
it.
are 3 hands on many clocks.
Yes, it's true. What does this mean?
It means I'm really good at finding 3s.
Have we entered the Matrix? I don't know.
No, because that's a computer and there's only zeros and ones.
Okay.
I think what it means is just that I'm really good at finding where there's
You're a good-
things that correspond.
You're a good finder.
I think it's just because I like being sarcastic and awful.
Are you messing with me, Kitty?
A little bit, yes.
I figured you were messing with me. I feel very messed with right now. I'm shocked, saddened, and hurt.
Oh, and 3 things.
Right. Hey, that's true. That's pretty good. I like your style, young lady.
I know I'm terrible.
You're,
Sorry.
You're awful. Yeah, I don't condone your kind of behavior, and I guess that's it. I'm just super, super duper upset. I suppose maybe.
Maybe.
Probably
We're
not.
not sure? No.
No, I don't think so.
You're probably fine.
I think I'm okay.
You say that at 33 minutes into the podcast.
Dun, dun,
It's
dun.
true. We are at 33 minutes into the recording of this episode. Who knows what it'll actually be when I edit things and add things and do stuff to it. But I got more news speaking about podcasts. Wolverine, the Long Night podcast debuts. Did you hear about this podcast?
No.
So I was worming my way up a ridge and glass in the meadow below. The wolves were fading in and out of sight. And that's when I saw him. A man. He's crouched low and he's running with the wolves. And he stared right at me.
Marvel and Stitcher present Wolverine, the Long Night. Out now, only on Stitcher Premium. For 1 month free, go to wolverinepodcast.com and use promo code MARVEL.
Oh, well, heck. Marvel and Stitcher have officially released the first 2 episodes of Wolverine the Long Night, Marvel's first scripted podcast on Stitcher Premium. Wolverine the Long Night is a 10-episode series releasing weekly on Stitcher Premium, and the entire series will be released on other podcast platforms in the fall. Wolverine the Long Night is a mystery story that incorporates the fantastical elements of the Marvel Universe. So that's pretty cool.
Is it like a fan-made thing?
No,
it's official.
Really?
It follows agents Sally Pierce and Ted Marshall as they arrive in the fictional town of Burns, Alaska, to investigate a series of murders and quickly discover the town lives in fear of a serial killer. The agents team up with Deputy Bobby Reed to investigate their main suspect, Logan. Their search leads them on a fox hunt through the mysterious and corrupt town. So that sounds really exciting.
It does sound really exciting.
And it's the first scripted podcast, and it's going to be awesome. And 1 and 2 are now available on Stitcher Premium, and we can all get it in the fall for free, probably.
That sounds really cool. It sounds slightly comic book related.
Well, yeah, it is.
I actually have a new comic book that was released March 14th. Would you like to hear about it?
I would love to hear about it.
It is called Vamperonica. It is by Greg Smallwood and Megan Smallwood.
Oh, the Smallwoods did it.
Ah, yes.
Yes, they're pretty good.
The Great and Powerful Smallwoods. It's an ongoing series. It's one of those, like, otherworld tales of Archie.
Oh,
so, like,
yes.
where it's not quite the Archie that you remember, although they often behave very similarly to how they used to. Where they say, like, gosh golly, and they get in their jalopy and drive away from the horrors behind them, which
Gee
is not
whiz.
the same. Yeah.
No guff, eh?
So, it's a new ongoing series when Veronica is bitten by a centuries-old vampire. Her thirst for blood threatens to turn Riverdale into a haven for the undead. Will she put an end to the vampire threat or give in to her bloodlust? It's only $3.99 American, which is $5.30 Canadian, or $6 with the tax included.
Is it out now?
Yeah, it was available on March 14th.
Do you have it here?
Yes, I have a few copies left. They were really popular, though, so even though I got many other copies for the wall, I'm not sure if I've got any left in stock. I'll bet you they'll be available as a trade paperback, though.
No doubt.
Most of the Archies are. A lot of the other ones that were available before, like Afterlife with Archie Volume 1, which is where the The entire town of Riverdale has to deal with a zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
It is amazing. It has beautiful color blocking art. There's a lot of other really strange Archies that were available, like Archie versus Predator.
I know. I read the first issue of that.
It's amazing,
at your
right?
other location.
Yeah.
When you were also on Pine Street.
Yeah.
Pine Street South, and yeah, I liked it a lot.
It's pretty great.
It was pretty great.
There's also another ongoing series right now called Jughead the Hunger, in which he is a werewolf and desperately trying not to eat his friends.
And how does that work out for him?
So far, not great.
Oh.
He sucks at not eating his friends.
How long does it take for a trade paperback to generally come out after all the regular standalone issues have been released?
Well, usually they create a volume after there's about 6 to 8 comics that are released, like single issue comics. But it
Okay.
also depends on how long the series is, because if it's a 10 issue running series, they're not going to release one at 8 because there's only 2 more to fit in.
Right,
So they
so
just
they'll
make
wait.
it a little bit more.
Expensive?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they sell it as it is. But like Archie versus Predator is available as a hardcover because it
Ooh.
was only 4 issues long and it was amazing.
Nice.
4 or 5 issues long. But yeah, Jughead the Hunger is really good so far. Like it's quite the good and hilarious read. It has similar color blocking art style to the Archie Afterlife with Archie. And there's also Chilling Tales of Sabrina, which has like
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
yeah, it's got Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I won't give away too many spoilers, but she's not currently in her regular world. And the art style is not dissimilar to like the old Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's very like scratchy and kind of blotted art. It's really neat. I would recommend all of the Elseworld Archie tales.
Okay, that's a recommendation.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
really good.
Have you guys finished Jessica Jones season 2? I did last night.
Nope, we got 2 episodes left.
It's really good. I like it so much better than season 1. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot faster paced. I
great.
actually didn't watch all of season 1. You don't really have to either to watch season 2.
No, but it helps.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
it caught me up enough.
Yeah, you don't need season 1 really. Not really.
You need to know things about
Well,
it.
it's good to know it helps, but if you hadn't watched it, you wouldn't miss anything.
Yeah, but
Not
like
really.
it's like that for many comics. Like once they start a new story arc, you can just jump in anywhere. It doesn't matter what the number is.
Speaking of comics,
Yes.
comics are kind of like cartoons, right?
Yes, kind of.
Okay. And cartoons are kind of like anime.
Yes.
Okay.
Similar, yeah.
Now, you guys are always talking up anime and telling
Yes.
me to get into it, and
Yes.
I try, and I just can't do it.
Okay.
Okay. This past week, I figured because Shane on last week's episode recommended Devil is a Part-Timer,
It's wonderful.
I would give it a go. I don't like the fact that I have to read everything.
It's got English.
Yeah, they have an English version.
What?
Yeah.
You can choose the non.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can choose the dub
On
version.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously?
We did
Yeah.
that. Some of them have the option. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I will have to fix that up.
Because we watched it with our kids.
I've watched half of it.
Okay, well you can watch the other half without reading.
I'm going to watch the other half
You
without
didn't.
reading.
You didn't know that you have options. There's
You don't always.
Yes, but no. You always have the option of turning off the subtitles.
I never. I see that in the list. I never look at it.
You gotta go to your thing.
Yeah, I'll
You
have
can
to do
change
it.
it to English,
Yeah.
and then there's also some animes have English signage. So you don't get full subtitles, but you get the signings translated for you.
Okay. Well, all that as it is. So I've seen half of the series, and normally I stop after 1 or 2, but this is pulling me in because it's freaking awesome.
Isn't it great?
Okay, so for
I'm
people,
so pleased that you like
this
it.
is great because for people who don't know, the devil is the devil, of course, and he's at this other Earth or whatever.
Great and powerful Lord Satan.
Enta Isla, wherever that is,
Isla.
whatever it is, and he goes through a gate and he goes to our Earth and he loses his powers and becomes a teenager and he has to get a part-time job at McRonald's and he's so interested in keeping his job and being a good person, and the hero who wants to defeat him is more of his friend than anything, and the teenage girl who's in love with him is really silly and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm.
Chiho.
Yes. So I'm finally on board with one of your anime suggestions.
Okay, so
I thought you'd be proud.
we are. We're happy that you've come around and watched some. A little sad you didn't know about the language options on your Netflix
A lot
thing.
of people don't know though, like especially if they just avoid
I never look at that part. I see it all
Other
there, but I just figured it
language
was
things
for
in the
subtitles
first
or not.
Look at the Marvel shows. They're coming out in like 7, 8, 9 languages.
I
Yeah,
see all
there's-
that stuff at the end.
There's some
Yeah.
that don't have the option though. I was watching a show called Call Girls, which was amazing. It's not what you'd think.
Oh.
It takes place in the, I want to say, 40s in Spain, and the girls are, they work at a phone company. and-
Operators kind of
Yeah,
thing?
they're operators, and so they do the switch panel, the operating channel, and it's amazing. There's like weird.
Is it sci-fi?
No, it's like
It's history.
sort of. It has almost like a
Alternate
detective.
history? Oh, okay. Like a noir?
Yeah, almost
Okay.
like noir film, but then it's also got like spy-ish things in it.
Is it a movie or a TV show?
It's a TV show.
Okay.
And,
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Call Girls.
Yeah, and I actually was really interested in reading it, even though they speak really fast.
Mhm.
So sometimes I had to go back and like rewatch
Oh,
it so
wow.
I could read it because it isn't available to watch without reading,
Right.
or at least it wasn't, which is too bad because it takes you out of it a little bit to have to go back and see what they were saying because they speak very quickly, and I am not that fast a reader.
Okay.
I'm dyslexic and I often get things wrong, so I need to read slowly,
Well,
which is sad.
And I'm going to look at my Netflix language options so I don't have to read this stuff anymore so I can get the full experience. I've also started watching the first 2 episodes of Love, Season 3, and it's awesome.
What's that one about?
That's about the nerdy guy who teaches kids at acting place.
Oh, okay,
That
yeah.
we talked about last
I
week.
remember you were talking
Yeah,
about
and
that.
I mixed it all up last time too.
Ah.
But it's pretty good. It's great. What did you find out, mister?
Well, I've started a new book series called Destiny's Crucible.
Okay.
By Olin Thornson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on book 3 right now. There's Cast Under an Alien Sun, The Pen and the Sword, Heavier Than a Mountain, and Forged in Fire. Those are the 4 books so far that he has out. It's an isekai.
Okay.
It's a genre of anime mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Devil Part-Timer is actually an isekai.
Ah.
It's going to another world.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it translates to as another world.
Gotcha.
This one is a guy he's a chemist. He's in a plane. Plane explodes because aliens are real, and they had a computer error for a tenth of a second, and they slammed into his aircraft by accident.
Oopsie.
So they saved his life, but because he knows about the aliens, they're going to drop him off somewhere else.
Ah. Okay, that makes sense.
And it's all about what happens when he drops off. He
And-
gets dropped off somewhere else.
And where do you find this? It's a podcast or it's
It's a book.
Is
It's
it
an audiobook.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
Destiny's Child. The first book is
Destiny's Crucible.
Destiny's Crucible. Destiny's Child. Jeez 'em.
It's because I was playing an all 90s soundtrack today, so we were actually listening to Destiny's Child
Gotcha.
earlier.
Okay.
But it is Destiny's Crucible.
All right. That sounds
Cast Under an Alien Sky is the first book.
Okay.
And The Pen and the Sword is the second.
sounds interesting.
In the book, he's cast away on a world. The aliens are watching us because humans are on many different worlds, and they're not sure why.
Oh.
They know they're from Earth, but they're on several different worlds.
Right. Okay.
And so they're waiting for the other aliens, whoever put the humans on the other worlds, to come back.
Gotcha.
So they take this chemist from the 21st century and they drop him off on a world that's equivalent to the 17th century.
Ooh. Okay. That sounds intriguing, actually.
Yeah,
I
so
might listen to that.
Go. It's real good.
Okay. Now it's time for the shameless plug alert.
I thought we did that already.
That was for the Jump City.
Ah.
We have not done the shameless plug alert for the Soul Forge podcast,
Welcome to the Soul Forge.
which is my other podcast all about life, the universe, and everything. This past week, I did a Skype call with Kene Corder. Have you heard of this lady?
It kind of sounds familiar.
Okay, she's awesome. We talked on the Skype, and it was our first conversation. It was like we were old friends. It's going to be episode 41 of the Soul Forge, which comes out this coming Thursday. She was the spokesperson for ABC's Extreme Makeover.
Okay.
She actually had reconstructive surgery done on the episodes.
Okay.
She was featured on Oprah. She met Alanis Morissette at the dentist office because Alanis wanted to meet her.
At the dentist
At
office.
the dentist office, yep. She lives in Georgia.
Country or
No, the
state?
The state.
Okay.
Right by where they filmed The Walking Dead. And so she started a new podcast that she wanted to promote. And we met on a Facebook podcast group, and I said, hey, come on to my show, I can promote you, and we can do cross-promotion and all that good stuff. And so she's a really fascinating lady, and she's talking all about wealth and how to live more financially responsible. And
there you go.
That's going to be an awesome episode, and you're going to like it.
I want to know something.
Yeah.
So she was at the dentist?
Apparently she was at the dentist.
Was ambushed by Alanis Morissette?
Well, she was at the dentist, and I guess Alanis was there too, and I guess one of the hygienists came and said...
And Alanis is like, I need to meet this lady, bring me to her.
Yes, and so...
That's a really weird thing.
So the hygienist went up to her and said, Alanis would like to meet you, is that okay? And she said, oh, yeah.
That would be so weird.
So you got to listen to the episode. It'll come out this coming Thursday, the 2nd? Yeah, the 22nd, because the 21st is Wednesday, and that's when the first episode of Krypton comes out.
I can't believe we're going to be the 21st of March already soon.
Yes. And speaking of things that are, well, Krypton is based on a comic book series, right?
Yes.
You know what else is based on a comic book series?
Lots of things.
Lots of things. And the exciting news this week that we've waited till the end of the podcast to talk about is the last trailer for Avengers Infinity War, which comes out April 27th. The new trailer just was released the last few days. Here it is right here for all our listeners.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow.
The end is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. I hope they remember you.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
And I think this just might be the best trailer for anything ever of all time.
I think it's good, but it's not that good of a trailer.
Oh, it's a great trailer.
I'm not saying it's not a bad trailer. It's not a bad trailer.
No, it's not. It's great.
But it's not that great of a trailer.
It looks like they showed the action. They showed every character that's going to be part of it that we know is going to be part of it.
The humor, though.
And then they had just a little smidgen of humor.
Okay, your plan is great, except it's not. So why don't I tell you my plan instead, which might be better?
So
Then it will be better.
the problem with this, just getting all the characters in, it's hard to get a feel for the movie.
True.
So it's a good trailer. It's an exciting trailer because for what it represents.
I'm really excited, Josh. I can't tell you how excited I am.
I know, and I'm excited about the movie, but the trailer as a trailer isn't like an outstanding trailer.
I think it was the best trailer ever in the entire world.
I think their trailer was better than the Justice League trailer.
Oh, that is not saying much.
The Justice League trailer was okay.
Yeah, and
Usually, though, DC is known for making better trailers than movies.
Yes. You know what I wish they would do? I wish they would go back to the 1950s style of trailers where the announcer voice came over and he would say, "It will terrify you. It will excite you. Get ready for action and adventure." Remember those?
Like the 50-foot woman?
Yeah, those old trailers, those are the best.
It's coming for you, the blob.
Are you prepared? Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that'd be great. It'd just be people running in various places, and the camera angles are from weird like from the ground camera angles.
yes. Now, I was really excited about seeing Avengers Infinity War. Now, I am super duper extra special sauce excited about seeing it because this trailer was amazing.
I don't think I'm any more excited than I was before, because...
See, that's the problem.
But I'm hard to...
You're hard to please. Poor Josh.
I don't know if I'm hard to please, because I think I'm just exhausted, so it's hard for me to be more excited about things than I already am. It's like when you raise your eyebrows to their full height,
Yeah.
you can't look more excited.
Right, because
Than
you're so
that.
excited that there's nowhere to go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like my eyebrows were already fully up. I'm like, oh my gosh, Infinity War, it's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna
They're
be
already
fantastic.
up. And then I saw the preview, and I'm like, oh wow, my eyebrows are at the same height they were before.
So
They can't go higher.
They can't go higher.
I'm already excited.
yeah, I think that's a good encapsulation of what I'm trying to say. Like the hype is already there. The
Just
trailers.
give us the movie now. Just give us the darn movie. We don't need trailers. We know it's going to be good.
Well, they moved it up a week early for us.
Yeah, but they don't. I don't know why they need to advertise it. They could just be like, "Look, it's here," and we'd be like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Then I'd lose my mind.
And then your head would explode.
Yeah, that's how my eyebrows would get higher.
There'd be headpieces all over the floor.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yes.
My eyebrows would be on the ceiling. That is
Yes.
how.
Come to Jump City and buy comic books now with 10% more kitty head parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, transitioning over, I found this week a hypothetical. Normally that's your job.
Yeah, that's my shtick, but okay.
But I found something online and I had to post it on the Facebook page for the Rusted Robot podcast. This week's hypothetical is: you hear a knock at your front door. You go to it and open it. You find yourself staring at yourself. What do you do?
Now I need some clarification on this answer.
It's you, your age.
No. See, the statement that is made is ambiguous.
Yes, it is.
In that I find me staring at me.
Yeah.
Does that mean me, A, steps out the front door and sees me, B, staring at me, A?
Your consciousness is not connected.
No. Or do I step out, me, A, open the door, see me, B, staring at me, C?
No.
It can be interpreted that way.
Okay, you just open your door because you hear a knock and it's you.
I know, but the implications
I understand.
for scenario one,
Yeah.
where I am staring at another version of me, is different than the implications
know.
of me stepping out and seeing me staring at another me.
Okay, let's just not be
'cause that's
complicated
also
about
possible. But the idea is that when you open the door, basically mirror you is there looking at the original you, which
Yes.
is the one
it.
opening.
But your brains are not connected, so you don't have that person's thoughts.
I understand.
Okay.
But because the ambiguity of the statement,
I know.
I will give my answers for both.
Okay.
Scenario one, I ask a single question.
Okay.
What is your origin in comparison to me? That way I know what's happening. Parallel, time travel, alternate reality, clone.
Future? Yeah.
So these that will answer my scenario, and then I'll determine what to do from there.
Okay.
If I see me staring at me, scenario two, I will quietly step back in the house, quietly go to the gun cabinet, quietly get the shotgun, and shoot both of them in the head, because it's obviously an invasion by me, and I have to stop that.
Okay.
You have to stop you.
What would you do, Kitty?
Well, see, I would be terrified because I don't like mirror self.
Yes, we've learned this.
I don't like the idea of my mirror self coming out of the mirror and trying to take over my life.
Which you can hear on episode 38 of Soul Forge Podcast.
Yep. Actually, I think you cut me.
No, you're there.
Somebody listened to the whole podcast and I wasn't there.
You're in there.
Oh.
You should listen to it again. Episode 38, soulforgepodcast.com.
Okay. But yeah, so first of all, I knew this was coming all along. This is why we can't have large enough mirrors that we can fit out of. And second of all, I'm probably going to die because mirror self me probably knows Kung Fu. And I don't.
All right.
Or she's armed. Or she's evil, in which case, she says mean things and does mean things.
Mm-hmm.
And probably doesn't look particularly nice either, because she'd be the opposite version of me.
Like the Miriam.
She'd look exactly like you.
Yeah, it'd be you.
No, she'd look mean. You could see it in her eyeballs.
Okay. I think this might answer the question finally. Is sex with yourself masturbation or incest?
Oh no, I don't like that question either.
Well, that's something that I came across when I found that somebody said that. So I'm like, I don't know if I like that. But I did get a bunch of responses on the Facebook page. I would probably just talk to myself and do some deep psychoanalysis.
You'd put yourself on your Soulforge podcast.
And we would talk to each other. Yeah, it would be awesome. But Daniel Hitch said, instantly say the code word I've had in my head, and I'll take it to my grave. If the other me knows it, then at least I know I'm dealing with myself, not an imposter. If the other me is somehow evil, and I'm inevitably going to fight myself, I'm screwed, but at least I'll be fighting a real me. Bishop's mom, Trish, said, I would give myself a hug and tell myself everything is going to be okay.
Aw.
Al Kessel, who does our opening, you're listening to the Rusted Robot thing, he said it depends. Is it older me or younger me? And I said it's you at your current age. And he says, I close the door and pour another glass of scotch. Obviously, I'm too sober. Jim Sabert said, it wouldn't be anything new. I'm quite often beside myself. And Jerry Shea said, Mary, come to the door. Your worst nightmare just showed up. So I thought that was all rather interesting.
Very humorous.
If anybody else would like to contribute to the hypothetical of the week, they can tweet us where, Josh?
At the Rusted Robot.
Correct. And if they wanted to email it?
Rusted Robot Pod at, no?
Nope, close. The rustedrobot@gmail.com.
Okay.
All right.
They can also email you at Darth Vader Lou.
I'm also on Twitter at Darth Vader Lou. That's true.
Yes. And then there's also darthvaderlou@gmail.com.
No, I don't have that.
That's not your thing?
That's not my thing. No, it's not. But that's okay. Guess what time it is, guys? It's time for entry number 3 in the top robots of all time, according to us. It's number 8 on the list. Who do we have?
So, yeah, all right. This one is more for the cultural impact than from personal liking.
Yes.
This one is one that we cannot deny has had a large impact on pop culture.
Over the last 30-odd years.
Yeah.
It affected so many things.
But unfortunately, it is one of those things that has a diminishing return on it.
It has currently, yes, in the last few years. But it's not one specific robot. It's a generic grouping called...
The Transformers!
Because-
Robots in disguise.
More than meets the eyes. Yeah. You know what? When I was a kid, I always thought they said Morgan meets the eye. I'm like, who the heck is Morgan? It wasn't until years later when I finally figured out what they were actually saying, because I didn't hear it properly.
Oh, okay.
I think that was actually episode 2 of The Rusted Robot. I think that was their title.
Morgan meets the eye?
Morgan meets the eye, yeah. Because we talked about that on that episode.
Well, it's like Family Guy. At the beginning of Family Guy, I misheard Stewie all the time in the intro.
Is that right?
Yeah. But, yeah, so the Transformers are number 3 because they've had a big impact. I watched the original Transformers.
Yeah.
I watched the original Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm. With Leonard Nimoy.
Yep. I had the LP read-along book.
Oh, those were good. I had the My Little Pony versions.
I've got some Star Trek ones.
And so I had the LP and the read-along book that went with it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Beasties.
Beasties are good.
I found the first movie funny. After that, I didn't really enjoy them.
They do get progressively worse.
And they're still making them. And they're terrible.
They're very Land Before Time.
Yeah, they're Land Before Time-ish. They're just going down and down and down and down and
I'm
down.
not actually sure what's happening with that. They might be on hold, or they might be canceled, or they might be just doing the Bumblebee movie.
They're doing a Bumblebee standalone, and they're debating on whether or not rebooting the system.
Right, because they were going to do 13 more just because.
Yeah.
But now, the last night there didn't do too well. So.
When do you think they'll wind up with the sing-along version?
Not that far. Not that far.
See,
then it'll be so bad it's good again.
When I was a kid, I couldn't afford the Transformers, so I got GoBots.
Ooh, you got stuck with the GoBots.
Yeah, we were poor, so I never got any of the good toys.
I got broken Transformers. Does that count?
That counts because you had Transformers. Yeah. So
it looked like a car that had been in a terrible, terrible accident.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't have their heads, and many of them were missing an arm/side panel.
So I got quite a few Transformer toys from my friend's mom.
Generation 1?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you still have them?
No.
Oh, your mom threw them out?
Yes.
Yes.
But my friend's mom gave them to me because he wants these robot toys and he doesn't want his cars anymore, so you can just have these. And I was like, are you sure?
Nice.
And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I went home and I was like, ha ha ha.
No doubt.
Because she just gave away all of his robot toys.
Awesome.
Is it the one friend, the Run from the Bear friend?
Yes.
Ah, yes. I could see why you kept them.
So yeah, so Transformers, cultural significance, level 8.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
What's your favorite Transformer? Full set. You can go any Transformer from any generation, any set of Transformers.
See, I never got to really watch the cartoon much as a kid, so I don't have that much familiarity with them. I really liked the cassette player guy, Soundwave, I think it was.
Okay.
And everybody loves Optimus Prime.
My favorite was the Dinobots. They were dumb and really didn't have any separate personalities, but I like them. I like dinosaurs and I like robots. I like Dinobots.
Okay, so I got two answers.
All right.
I really like Dinobot, not the Dinobots, but Dinobot from Beast Wars.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, Beast Wars.
He's awesome. As a character, I enjoy him. I also really like Starscream, but when he possesses the body of a little girl in Japan.
Oh.
His spark, because Starscream is immortal and cannot be killed, his spark continues on forever, and at one point he ends up possessing the body of a little girl in Japan.
Wow.
He tries to take over the world, but he is laughed at quickly because he doesn't know you're supposed to pull up your panties.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yikes.
because she was peeing when he took over.
This
Oh,
sounds
no.
very bad.
Yeah.
It sounds like a terrible episode.
This was in the cartoon?
This was in a Japanese manga that was officially licensed.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is a good spot to end the podcast for this week.
Okay.
I've been going through my old computer, and I found an old promo from the podcast that Bridget and I did together. So I'm going to play that near the end of the episode because it's hilarious and bad and kind of embarrassing. And it's a thing that we sent out to other podcasts to promote our show.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'm going
That's going to be exciting to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. So I'm going to play that at the end of the show. But I'm going to also play the end credits so everybody knows where to reach us and get a hold of us. And I'm going to leave us now with the and remember the immortal words of Stephen Hawking, where he said, "So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes a universe exist. Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something that you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up." This has been another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. You can contact us by emailing therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweeting us at therustedrobot. Visit our website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. And, if you would, please check us out and like us on Facebook. A 5-star review in iTunes is appreciated. The Rusted Robot Podcast was written, produced, scored, edited, engineered, and directed by Sean Vanderloo. Your co-host was Josh Montney. Don't forget to visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and listen to our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Sean on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
We are the Rusted Robot Podcast. Lower your shields and surrender your minds. We will add your MP3 recordings and opinion on geekery to our own. We will adapt to embrace this culture. Resistance is futile.
It's the Borg.
Commander Adama, Cybermen, Daleks, and Cylons are fast approaching. Jump gates forming in multiple sectors, and the doctor's nowhere to be found. What are we going to do?
Tune into the Rusted Robot Podcast at therustedrobot.podbean.com and on the iTunes Store. Sean and Bridget Vanderloo's love for all things geekery and robots are our only hope.
Oh, boy.
Get rusted today.
Robots. Cyborgs.
Androids.
Oh my.
Rusted Robot.
Stephen Hawking was on the Paramount lot to promote the video release of his movie. And during his time on the lot, he wanted to go by and see the Star Trek sets because he is a fan of Star Trek.
I asked if I could sit in the captain's chair. It is rather more comfortable,
and a lot more powerful than my wheelchair.
It's one of the great minds of the 20th century, and he wanted to sit in the captain's chair just like we all did, because he was still a kid at heart, and put him in the captain's chair. Weeks later, got this call. He'd love to be on the show. I said, sure. So it happened to fall in this production schedule. He was available, and let's write a scene for Stephen Hawking, and he's going to be on the show. And so I got to write, his scene on the holodeck with him and Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton and Data playing poker.
I'm thrilled that it was me, because it was one of the greatest moments. Maybe my favorite moment of the entire experience of doing Star Trek was being able to be in a scene with Stephen Hawking. It's incredible. Occasionally TV Guide does like the 100 most amazing moments in TV, and they never use that moment. To me, nothing compares to Stephen Hawking in Star Trek. And the only thing that even compares would be if, say, Einstein had done Bonanza. That's what it was like, really. To be sitting across the table from the smartest man on the planet today was phenomenal. And the game was that finally Hawking wins. That was the scene. He was the sly player, and he won. About a year later, I was standing in front of stage 8 and 9 where we shot our series, and I looked down the street, and here comes Stephen Hawking. So I thought, well, I have to say hello, and I went up to him and I said, Professor Hawking, it's nice to see you again. And he types into his computer, and this voice comes out and says, where's my money?
This has been a Valley of Vanderloo podcast production, all rights reserved.
This transmission ends.